Perfectionism is procrastination. The first time that I heard this, I was actually working at my old brokerage, and it really hit home for me because I've always considered myself to be a perfectionist. So I would always research, try and tweak things, make things better until I felt that I was ready, and then I would go ahead and do stuff. But sometimes the greatest lesson that we learn is actually from doing something. We learn best from experience. And I think part of it too was just a fear of failure on my part, because I've always been the type of person that when I do something, I want it to just be successful. I don't want to lose, I don't want to fail. And that was something that I also had to learn to reframe my mind. Just because you don't necessarily win doesn't mean that it's a big loss. It doesn't mean that you're a failure. It doesn't mean that you're a loser. What it means is that you learned something, because we're all human. We are by no means perfect. And what you can do is go ahead and give yourself grace. Sit down, and whether you have a mentor or even if it's just you, write it out. Go back, see what you can do better. Get up, try again. If you don't want to try again and you just want to throw in the towel, maybe whatever it was that you were working for isn't for you. But if you still have that drive, remember that you're always going to make some mistake one way or another. It doesn't make you any less great. It doesn't make you a failure. That's part of the reason why you also need to watch how you talk to yourself. If you're constantly bombarding yourself with negative comments, then of course you're going to hold yourself back. And that's where I think that whole perfectionism comes from too. We're so afraid of failure, of rejection, of other people's opinions that we want to do it and we want to do it right. But what really is right? There's always going to be a perception, and there's always going to be something that we can improve on. But that's part of the growth mindset. Constructive criticism, and just, like I said, taking things with grace. So while it is good to go ahead and stop and research, because it's not always good just go ahead, plunge in head first, not know what you're doing. Yes, you'll learn as you go along. I mean, it's always good to have an idea of what you're doing, but don't do it for so long that you just keep thinking, oh, I'm going to wait for the perfect day. I'm going to wait for the perfect time. That does not exist. That exists entirely in our minds. We can sit there and imagine all day long. We can come up with excuses all day long, or we can just go ahead and do it. Because guess what? Every single day that you put that off, that's just one more day away that you're taking from the moment that you will win. Now, and it doesn't mean that everything is going to just also happen on the timeline that you expect. But the thing is that consistency is always going to beat perfection. You ever heard the saying that Rome wasn't built in a day? And that's because there was consistency building it. You're not going to expect that you're just going to wait for the perfect time. Or you do it little by little where, oh, let me build this structure perfectly, but I'm going to wait, research, do the other structure when I feel that I have it right in my mind. You're going to get tired, you're going to get frustrated, and you're always going to find something wrong. You're always going to find something to improve on. Now, that's not to say you stop your growth mindset completely and you just say, you know what? Everything I do is amazing. Everything I do is perfect. I don't need to improve. No, I'm not saying that at all. It's always good to improve yourself. But what's not good is that you drag yourself down so far that you never start, or you just end up starting and that's it. Your day one is day one. You never mess with it again. If you keep doing this, you're not going to make the progress that you want. Especially if we compare this to someone who, like I said, has those spurts of activity, building the different buildings for the city, not every single day, but as they feel the time is right, versus somebody who says, you know what, I'm going to pace myself. These are my goals. I'm going to build a structure a week, and I'm going to keep going every single week until I get it done. Ultimately, they're going to get more done than somebody who works in those spurts. And that's exactly what I mean. Even if you're scared, even if you're not too sure what you're doing, but maybe you have an idea, go ahead, go through the process and learn. Once you've done your research, you have an idea what to do, you need to go ahead and go forward and do it. And it can be scary, yes. It is uncomfortable, yes. But if you never take action, you're never going to learn. If you never take action, you're never going to build. And then you end up procrastinating so much because you want it to be perfect that maybe you talk yourself out of doing it completely. And then years later, you look back and then you wonder, what if? What if I could have done this? What if I had gone ahead and done that? And you just end up overthinking yourself into failing. It's possible to fail at something before you even start it because you never even gave it a chance. Most of all, you didn't even give yourself a chance. I hope that whoever is watching this, that you will take that leap of faith and you will go ahead and move forward and take a step towards what it is that you want. You can and you will do this. Don't give up. Stay consistent, define your goals, and get started. Get started and keep going.